Welcome to Dick Morris Democracy. I'm Dick Morris. This war is being fought in Ukraine, but it will be won in Moscow. So says my guest today, John Jordan, formerly of U.S. Naval Intelligence, a lifelong student of Russian politics and military, fluent in Russian, and in his other hat, a talented political consultant and advisor. After my spiel, I'll interview him and try to mine the information he carries around in his brain. The Russian military dysfunction in the Ukraine war is uncovering a deep comment on the nature of the modern battlefield and corruption in Russian governance. Russia treats its soldiers as cannon fodder. They conscript them into service. Anybody with a brain avoids being drafted. The term of service is only 12 months. Minimal training, just hand them a rifle and a uniform, and off you go. Russia's military is rotted right through. Nothing at all like the professionalism and technical skill of the U.S. military, where the training is continuous and the men and women are familiar with all the dynamics of a possible battlefield and fully equipped to handle them. In retrospect, President Nixon's decision to end the draft and go to an all-volunteer army, a choice he originally made to end student descent over Vietnam, was one of the most critical and far-sighted decisions of a modern president. Part of the all-volunteer army is good pay, good lifelong medical care, and free college. So we get the best and the brightest in our military. In fact, you could go further and say that just as the side with the largest population and military won World War I, and the side with the greatest industrial capacity won World War II, the side with the greatest competence, technical skill, and best trained and educated soldiery will win the wars these days. Not just the best technology, but the most skilled men and women to fight with it. The Russian army is a total mess, plagued by corruption and alcoholism, and a psychology where nobody wants to take responsibility for anything. And we're seeing the results on the battlefields of Ukraine. Despite a huge advantage in manpower, air power, and equipment, the Russian army is at least not winning and perhaps is losing. So how does this war end? Part of the answer is Putin runs out of money. This war is costing him $2 billion a day, and the 100 or so oligarchs with whom Putin has stashed his personal fortune are one after another having their hands tied by U.S. and U.K. sanctions. Last week, my guest on the show is Bill Browder, who invented the idea of sanctioning corrupt individuals to punish bad actors in authoritarian regimes. If you missed it, you got to see it. Go to Newsmax.com, click on TV shows, and watch it. He explains in detail how we are strangling Putin financially. But as John Jordan says, in Russia, the administrators and bureaucrats of the security services are more important than money. They're called the Slivoki. They run the jails, the surveillance, and spying operations, the secret police, and they have the guns. As John will explain, Putin is increasingly making them scapegoats for the rotten intel that told him what he wanted to hear, that Ukraine would be easy pickings. So his economic sanctions squeeze individual Russians more tightly, and body bags keep coming back from the front. And one after another, the fellow Slovaki are canned or worse or sent to Siberia. Putin's power base becomes shakier and shakier. So as Western equipment floods into Ukraine, and they get anti-aircraft equipment, and eventually Biden wises up and lets Poland send them MiGs, Putin looks worse and worse. So will he use WMDs to save face, to reverse his battlefield losses? If he did go nuclear, it would likely be with tactical battlefield nuclear weapons. We couldn't retaliate in kind. Our past great president, Barack Obama, decided that nuclear arms were obsolete and decommissioned our tactical nuclear weapons. So with us, it's massive strategic weapons or nothing in our arsenal. But if Putin uses nukes or biochemical weapons, we probably don't need to reply in kind. The global reaction against Russia would be intense and immediate. All restraints on our military would be lifted, and global economic sanctions would be imposed that dwarf what we're doing now. Right now, we're pretty effective in cutting off Russian access to banking and credit. But now every private company would all have to leave Russia, and the Europeans would have to cut back on energy imports. And remember, spring weather's coming. You don't need that much gas. But if we hold individuals accountable for any decision to use WMDs, Putin may find nobody obeys his orders, and dissent in Russia would grow to a crescendo. I think we should stoke it by publishing the names and the photos of the officials, bureaucrats, and military commanders who are responsible for war crimes and would be responsible if WMDs are used. And we should say, we are coming for you. You'll be arrested and tried like we did at Nuremberg, and the defense that you're only following orders won't wash. Okay, and what about China? This week I spoke with a top official in the Trump administration who knows China well. China is underwriting this war, he told me flat out. Putin and Xi are joined at the hip. He explained that while Putin is a megalomaniacal dictator, Xi is a dedicated Leninist communist who genuinely believes in world revolution and wants at all costs to undercut the power of the United States of America. He is perfectly prepared to sacrifice Chinese people and wealth to achieve his global objectives, to a point. But there are many constituencies in China: the wealthy billionaires on the seacoast, the military, the party bureaucracy, the security apparatus, and China, above all, is totally dependent on the world market to survive. We in the U.S. consume about 92% of what we produce or the services we generate. But China only consumes about 3/4 of what it produces domestically. The rest depends on foreign customers. They are 3 times more dependent on the rest of the world than we are. And our best customers are our best friends: Canada, Mexico, Japan, and Europe. China's are its worst enemies, the US and the EU. Cut off world trade in China withers on the vine. And we saw in the Trump years, oh God, how we want them back, how little we were hurt domestically by high tariffs on Chinese products. Embargo would be a damnable inconvenience to us, but a catastrophe for China. And don't forget, we owe China a touch more than $1 trillion. You know the old saying, if you owe the bank $1,000, it owns you. But if you owe it $1 million, you own the bank. If China misbehaves massively and globally, we could cut off debt repayments with little real consequence to ourselves. So China really can't do much to bail Putin out. And Xi has the 20th Party Congress coming up, and he doesn't want a domestic rebellion on his hands.